You know, as a researcher, your data is everything. It's the core of your work. But what happens the moment you hit print? All of a sudden, that perfectly organized Excel sheet just explodes into chaos. Well, don't worry. Today, we're going to fix that. We are going to turn that printing nightmare into professional, polished clarity.
Oh yeah. I think we've all been here. This is the classic Excel printout, isn't it? You've got columns sliced right down the middle, a few random rows spilling onto a second page. It just looks completely unprofessional. Honestly, it's one of the biggest and most common frustrations when you're working with data.
But here's the thing. Getting a perfect printout isn't about luck. It's a skill. And in this explainer, we're going to break down the exact workflow you need to take control to make sure your final reports look just as sharp and credible as the research that's behind them.
So, where do we even begin? Well, before you touch a single cell of your data, you have to get the canvas right. And to do that, we're heading straight to the Page Layout tab. Think of this as your command center for everything related to printing. Okay, this first decision is really simple, but it is so powerful. If your data is tall and narrow, like a long list of IDs or something, then yeah, stick with portrait mode. But for most research tables, which have a lot of columns, switching to landscape is probably the single best thing you can do to stop your data from getting cut off. It's just fundamental for making it readable.
Now this is the magic button that solves so many printing headaches. You see that one annoying column that just insists on spilling over to page 2? All you have to do is go to Page Layout, find the scaling options, and just tell it to fit sheet on one page. Excel automatically, instantly, shrinks everything down to fit perfectly. It is a total game changer.
You know, presentation really matters. By default, Excel just kind of shoves your table up into the top left corner of the page and it just looks sloppy. If you want a polished report, go into the Margins tab in your page setup and just check the two little boxes to center your table horizontally and vertically. It's such a small tweak, but it's the difference between a raw data dump and a professional-looking document.
Okay, so our page is set up right. Now it's time to get really precise about the content itself. This whole section is about telling Excel exactly what to print and, just as importantly, what not to print.
This might just be the most powerful tool in your entire printing toolkit. Instead of printing the whole messy worksheet, with all your rough notes and calculations off to the side, just highlight the final table you actually want. Then go to Page Layout and click Set Print Area. That's it. From now on, Excel will only print the section you selected. It's absolutely perfect for creating clean summary sheets or appendices.
All right, time for a quick diagnostic check. If you're looking at your print preview and things are just missing, it's usually one of 3 culprits. First, check for any hidden rows or columns. Second, are your table borders gone? You probably need to make sure you've ticked the print box under grid lines. And finally, if your logos or charts aren't showing up, just right-click on them to make sure they're actually formatted to be printed.
So we fixed all the common problems. Now let's start adding the features that take a document from just correct to truly professional and easy for your audience to read and understand.
Listen, for any researcher whose dataset is longer than one page, this is absolutely non-negotiable. Using print titles in the Page Layout tab lets you select your header row just one time, and Excel will automatically repeat it at the top of every single page. No more flipping back to page 1 to remember what's in column G. It keeps your data completely understandable from the first page to the last.
Formal reports need page numbers, but please don't try to add them manually. You can automate it. Just go into the header and footer settings and type in this simple little code, &page. That's it. Excel handles the rest, automatically numbering every single page, which is crucial for proper citation and referencing in any academic work.
And here's another pro tip for researchers: version control. By adding the codes for &date and &time into your footer, you create an automatic timestamp on your printout. This is so incredibly useful for keeping track of different versions of your data analysis, and it makes sure you're always presenting the most current file.
All right, let's switch gears and do a rapid-fire troubleshooting round. Think of this as your emergency checklist for those last-minute problems right before you send that critical report to the printer. Let's run through these common issues really quickly. No colors? That's almost always a setting in your printer's own dialog box. Printing a totally blank page? You've probably selected an empty cell as your print area by mistake. Text is too tiny to read? You can either bump up the font size or just ease off on that scale to fit percentage. And if the printer isn't responding at all, well, always check that the cable is plugged in first. So we've covered the settings, the content, and how to fix common problems. But there is one final step that I want to share.
It's the one thing that locks in all your hard work and absolutely guarantees a perfect presentation every single time.
This right here is the final and maybe the most crucial step of all. After you've spent all that time perfecting your layout, don't just hit print. Instead, go to Save As and choose PDF. What this does is it creates a perfect digital snapshot of your document. It locks in all of your formatting, and it guarantees that what you see on their screen is exactly what your professor, your colleagues, or a publisher will see on theirs.
So the next time you're about to print from Excel, don't cross your fingers and just hope for the best. Take control, think about the layout, think about the content, and think about that final format. Your research is professional, and now your printed reports can be too. So what's the first document you're going to go and apply these tips to?